As an editor, you absolutely must make peace with the fact that you will be cutting out important things from a film, things that mean a lot to the director or that cost everyone tons of time and money. But your job is to not care about that at all. You have to be a guardian of the story, first and foremost. On the assurance, a model friend of mine, Kelsey Tiger, volunteered to come to this Japanese garden and get this footage. And we had to schedule and cancel a few times because the leaves had to be just right. And, we had a very tight window before the blossoms were gone. Kelsey had to awkwardly change into this complicated wardrobe at a public park bathroom. It was a long walk to this spot from the entrance to the garden. And, she didn't get paid anything. We filmed it on a hot day. But I really wanted this shot to show how the world used to be beautiful and abundant. However, in the re-edit, we had to cut that scene and also that entire storyline out. There was no place in our tightened, more compact story for beauty and abundance. And I felt so bad for Kelsey because of all that she contributed for free for this scene. But part of the job of an editor is to not care. You can't. The story has to come first. I also cut a visual effects shot that I had spent hours and hours working on because it frankly turned out really bad. The rocks looked faked and the camera motion was hokey. So all that work had to go. All that time that I invested had to be chopped out and eradicated and just lost. You have to just let it go. One of my favorite underappreciated films is The Collector. It's a really creepy film starring a young Terrence Stamp and directed by William Wyler, who directed huge Hollywood blockbusters like the original Ben-Hur. In The Collector, William Wyler cast Kenneth More in a co-starring role. So he wasn't an extra. This was a co-star with a very large, important role. But in post-production, William Wyler and his editors decided to cut out the entire role of Kenneth More's character. According to the book The Unkindest Cuts by Doug McClelland, Wyler said that some of the finest footage I ever shot wound up on the cutting room floor, including Kenneth's part. So if it was so great, why did he cut it? Because everything we do as editors is in the service of the story. So I had to cut out Kelsey's part, and to a lesser extent, all of these shots of the beautiful offering and the moldy altar. I spent weeks trying to get that food moldy. I spent hours in the rain trying to get that shot. I did dozens of takes. My son Mikey was involved. He was holding a tarp over my head, and he was getting soaked. Letting all of these shots go was tough. Kelsey's gorgeous, and beauty adds production value. But it doesn't matter. These elements didn't support our new story and had to go. Same with Eva's haunting voiceover. I was so proud of those words that I wrote, and I loved her performance, but it just didn't support the story anymore and had to be cut. Some editors won't even go to set to watch the film being made because they don't want to see the effort being put into certain shots, because that might make it more difficult to cut them later. So as an editor, remember that story is your primary concern. How expensive a shot was, or how cool it looks, or how hard it was to get, or whatever, none of that matters if it doesn't serve the story. So be bold, be brave, be merciless. Cut what needs to be cut to tell the best story.